Well, with the New Year only 2 weeks away, Russia is preparing for the grand holiday. Mandarins are a must-have in all Russian homes at this time of year. And RT's Katerina Kochova joins us live from the Russian-Abkhazian border, where the fruits are streaming over the border, ready for the festive tables. Katerina, hello there. Now, Russia imports lots of fruit from different countries, so what is so special about mandarins from Abkhazia?
Well, Abkhazians claim that everything is very special about their citrus. They say that it's grown in natural environment with no chemicals involved. They boast they do not wax the fruit, unlike their competitors from Greece and Turkey. But the fact is, and the most important thing, is that the main income of the small breakaway republic is provided by the private sale of mandarin oranges to Russia. And after the republic was torn apart by the war conflict with Georgia in 1992, and now there is a full ban of any imports of agricultural products both to and through Georgia, Russia remains the only trade partner to the small republic. And besides, it's also the New Year's Eve, and mandarin is somewhat of a staple on everyone's holiday menu in this time of the year. At this time of the year, something like Christmas pudding for the Americans, probably. And I must admit that price tags for mandarins in Moscow, in the capital, indicate Russia's love for the fruit as well. Is 4 to 5 times more expensive in Moscow than is here on the border with Abkhazia. Our correspondent in the region, Denis Bolotsky, went to see some of the families which make their living by growing and selling the fruit to Russia, and here is his report.
Angela Ashuba carries mandarins in her jacket. She says it's a simple and reliable method, so the fruit won't get damaged. The woman makes such trips 30 to 40 times a day. Besides climbing and walking, this job also requires a lot of weightlifting.
Usually you can collect up to 100 kilos of mandarins from each tree. All work is being done by hand, so it's definitely hard labor.
For many Abkhazians, growing mandarins is the only means of survival. This small republic has a unique subtropical climate which allows farmers to cultivate exotic fruit and vegetables. The Abkhazians say they don't use chemicals, so their mandarins are better than ones imported from neighboring countries.
This year the crops are very good. Some years mandarins come out black or rotten, but not this season. They're such good quality. It's exciting to be picking them.
For millions of Russians, mandarins have become one of the most popular symbols of the New Year celebration. Together with sparkling wine and salads, they are a necessity at the table. And Abkhazia has always been famous for its mandarin gardens. Until the early 90s, Abkhazia used to be a part of the Soviet Republic of Georgia. Putting it under Tbilisi's rule was Joseph Stalin's decision. But no one dared to object openly at the time. In the early 1990s, Abkhazia's growing move for independence met a violent response from Tbilisi. Thousands of civilians fled their homes. Hundreds were killed and injured. Russian peacekeepers and members of the UN mission separated the warring sides, but tensions still ran high. In August this year, after Georgia's second violent attempt to annex its former breakaway regions, Russia recognized South Ossetia and Abkhazia as independent states. But besides strengthening political ties, the Russian government gave the go-ahead to resuming economic cooperation with Abkhazia. In May this year, Moscow lifted all economic sanctions, making it possible for Abkhazians to sell their goods in Russia. This wholesale market at the Psou checkpoint is a busy place in December. Abkhazian farmers either cross the Russian border themselves or sell their goods right here. In previous years, people had to wait for days and weeks to cross the border. Now, with no more blockades, it takes minutes.
We all have a future. We have our children. We all hope that this new political situation, our newly gained independence, will change everything dramatically. And for the better, of course.
Rimma Ketia, a school teacher, says she's trying to save enough money to feed her children during the winter. But like many other Abkhazians, she's hoping to return to her usual job. And as life in Abkhazia gets back to normal, this woman's dream may very well come true. Denis Bolotsky, RT, Abkhazia.
Indeed, many here in Abkhazia have huge nostalgia about the Soviet times when the results of the republic were so popular with many high-ranking officials of the Communist Party, and they were very well known both with Russians and those from abroad. The economy is slowly reviving now, but at this time of the year it's mostly the sale of this small citrus which helps Abkhazians make their living.
Katerina, where are you at the moment? We see lots of mandarins behind you and lorries. Just how much fruit is coming over into the border from Russia from where you are?
The place where I'm now is the Kazachi market. It's actually the main trade route of mandarins from Russia to Abkhazia. An official customs checkpoint is just 101 kilometer away from here. There you can see long lines of cars carrying the fruit. But what really makes you stay is how the fruit is being imported from Abkhazia to Russia here at this Kazachi market. The fact is that officially it's permitted to carry out up to 35 kilos of the fruit per week, but from what we can see, the amounts of the fruit imported from the market to Russia is much bigger, 20-40 times bigger. I saw a woman who was literally carrying the passport between her teeth because her both hands and her back were busy carrying enormously huge bags of the fruit. And locals make up to 30-40 such trips a day, which is a lot indeed. And trolley service, well, trolleys, they have to pay $2 for it, and it's considered a rip-off for many locals. So they carry on many kilos of the fruit from the border, from Abkhazia to Russia. And this year puts a particular challenge on Abkhazians because the crops are very abundant.
Okay, Katerina, listen, don't forget about us. Bring a bag back for all of us here in Moscow. Thanks very much indeed for that update from the